Hello, I'm BXToyCat and welcome back to another video. Today I have another Title Update 25 feature tutorial for you, and in this one I'm going to be explaining how the inverted daylight sensor works, because it seems like a simple enough idea, right? It's it's like a daylight sensor, but it senses nighttime, but it's not that simple at all. First of all, a few people have been having problems trying to find it, so I figured I'd explain that, but also, even when it's the daytime like it is right now, it does still put out some power, and I figured I'd explain all the nuances of how it works, and a couple of build guides that you can use the inverted daylight sensor in. So please do like the video if you do like it. It helps out the channel a lot and lets me know you do like it. And let's get straight into this one, shall we? And let's start by showing you exactly how you get this, because if you go to your creative menu or you go to survival, there is no inverted daylight sensor. As you can see, there is just the daylight sensor. The way you invert it is you use your left trigger on it, and what it would do is it changes it from this to that. It's that simple, but a few people have been confused because they put it across as if it was a new block. It's just a new spin on an existing block. So yeah, this was one of the cool 1.8 features, I believe, that they just kind of changed the daylight sensor for, and it was meant to come with the original daylight sensor, but they didn't for some reason, but now it is in the game. So the simplest way to explain this is it's kind of like a nighttime sensor instead of a daytime sensor, but like I said, it's not that simple. I can hook up a redstone lamp that you'd figure would only work when it's nighttime, but as you can see, it's daytime and it still works. So yeah, let's explain how exactly this thing does work, because yeah, it's like that, but not that simple. So basically, this thing goes off the power of nighttime. So the only time this thing is fully powered is at the peak of midnight, basically. Basically the same way that the regular daylight sensor will, when you have it turned on like this, will at midday have max power. The way this will have max power is at midnight. And if you wonder what I mean by max power, how can things be powered differently? It basically means how far the redstone signal will travel. So this will only travel the full 14 block maximum when it is actually, midnight, like I said. When it's in the day, you get a lot less power. You still get some, but you get a lot less. And it basically means as nighttime grows, you can have different amounts of power. And because this is one of the cool things about analog redstone, it means that you can have doors that only open at midnight, or lights that only turn on at midnight, or you can have stuff that only turns off at midday. There's a few cool things you can do with that. And if you want a brief explanation of which level it goes to, I'll try and put like a table on screen from the Minecraft wiki. But there is different levels. It gets to different things. But basically, when day comes, this will still only power about 4 blocks. So if you want it to turn on, if you want something to power off exactly when day comes, or roughly when day comes, if you leave it at roughly here, then it means, as you can see, it's day and this is not powered. So yeah, and if you want something to only be powered off at midday, you want to have it like as close to the daylight sensor as possible. So if you want some simple ways to actually practically use this, because you might think to yourself, okay, we've got the inverted daylight sensor, it powers different things at different times, how do we use that then? So there's a few really cool applications for this, because although this was technically possible before, you had to have like a redstone trail, then have an inverter signal, and that wasn't quite as useful because you couldn't use the exact same level of measurements and stuff. But yeah, basically the way the inverted daylight sensor can be used is, one, to have lights that turn on at nighttime. So say you have a village like mine that you want to keep lit up at night, but you don't want to have stuff on the daytime, or maybe that's just not as fun. What you can do is you can for instance, you can just have it so let's do one right in the ground. So you have one in the ground right this. And you just have, redstone lamps next to it, and then when it's nighttime, or when it's fully nighttime, these things will be powered on, and in the, the heat of the day, it will turn off. It won't turn off for a while if they're next to each other. If you want to do that, you need to have some redstone, but it's still, the idea is still there. The same concept can be used for a door, for instance. You can make it so only at nighttime does your door open, or something like that. Or you can make it so piston door will only activate at nighttime. You can do a few really cool things with that. One of my favorite things is to do this, so you have it below, a lot of glass. You can just be like, okay, daylight sensor, a couple of pistons, a couple of redstone lamps, and that way it's not even noticeable in the daytime because it's underneath the glass, but it will still light stuff up as if it is, like that. So as you can see, pretty much no notice being paid to that, and you won't even see it until you travel over it. I think this is the best way to have it simple. Wait, it's no inverter right there, but yeah, this is the best way to have it be simple and be usable. That I'd say that's probably the best way, but there are a few other ways you can do this. So you can make it so there's a door that shuts in the middle of the day by having a certain distance like this between the thing. The reason you'd want to do this is because, let's say you leave your house in the day, but you're sleeping the entire night. When you're in your house, stuff can't really spawn and walk in. It's more dangerous when it does, but if you have a way to stop that, that's a fine way. But, when you're in the day, you're out exploring, you don't want a spider or a creeper to walk into your house and surprise you. So if you have an inverted daylight sensor, and then you leave it like 2 or 3 blocks away from the door, you can make it so as soon as, daytime hits and you walk out of your house to go mining or whatever, you make sure the door shuts behind you and it doesn't open till night when you come back. It's just an idea idea you can use to do this sort of stuff. I think, like I said personally, I think the best use for this thing is for a night system, a night light system, because of the fact that, nighttime is when you need redstone power. But I'm sure you can use pistons to do the same thing. You can make it so like, the piston activates in the day, and let's say, you've got some way to activate this sort of thing. You can do it so, these will only be knocked up in the day. It's another idea that you can use for the same idea, but I really do think most of the use for nighttime sensor, as opposed to a daytime sensor, is to do stuff like that. So, yeah, that's the inverted daylight sensor. One more thing, just like a regular daylight sensor, it will work even through glass, so don't worry about, having it below glass, like I said. As long as the block is transparent, it will work. If you put it underneath something that's not, it won't work, but it's something worth pointing out. Either way, I hope you did enjoy this video. I hope you learned something about the inverted daylight sensor. If you did like the video, please do like it and let me know. Share it if you really liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here. I make videos like this every single day on my channel, and if you subscribe, you'll see them daily on your homepage. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.